You're back with the Freaks at Lucas Oil Studios, Freak Nation. 22 years of doing this. Lucas Oil, proud partners of the Freaks. Go to lucasoil.com. That's lucasoil.com to find the right product for your righteous ride. Erik Jones back in the Freak Nation. He's been in here a few times. In fact, I think the first time was after your Truck Series Championship. Now you're back. You have 3 Reasons to Race fundraiser coming up. We'll get to that, but let's get to the point of how we got here. Doing research on you, Erik, I had no idea, buddy, that you spend a lot of time reading to children. That's badass, man.
I appreciate it. It actually was something we started. I guess it's been about almost 2 years probably now since we started doing that. Yeah. And, it was something, reading's always just been a passion of mine and something that I do quite a bit myself. And was trying to find kind of a way to, I guess, bridge that gap to the fans in NASCAR. And for me, the children's books was something that really kind of piqued my interest, and something that I thought would be great just to share with fans and their families, and also being able to hopefully get kids just interested in reading.
Well, let's. It might be kind of tough for you to watch yourself read, because it's still tough for me to listen to myself talk. But
riding by right here. Sam I Am. He's coming by. Coming by one more time. That Sam I Am. That Sam I Am. Do not like that Sam I Am. Got the grumpy old man there. Doesn't like Sam I Am riding around here on his place. Do you like green eggs and ham? Got the same guy offering it up there to his buddy. I do not like them, Sam I Am. Do not like green eggs and ham.
Come on.
It's that's pretty good. Thank you. I like the applause.
It's a bunch of kids too, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's there are a lot of celebrities, drivers, actors, musicians that you utilize their celebrity to, again, make things better, and frankly, for other people. And have you seen some pretty cool response to you reading to these kids, Green Eggs and Ham and beyond?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool just to at the track, now that the fans are back in full force, to hear them come up and just say that they enjoy it. They watch it with their kids when we do them there. It's usually a couple of times a month. So just seeing that they're tuning in and enjoying it, I mean, that's great for me. And then hopefully just getting them interested in reading on their own. When I was a kid, my parents read to me pretty much every night until I was reading on my own, and then I continued on. So if it's getting them interested in that and wanting to do that, I think that's great too for the parents, just being able to read to the kids even on their own.
That's cute and all that you want to help kids read, but let's be honest, this is getting kids into NASCAR too. Maybe it's unintentional, but this is amazing. They're watching an actual race car driver read to them. And yeah, okay, they'll like the books and they'll start reading themselves, but then they get to see you behind the wheel of a race car. That's cooler to them than anything else in the world. That's what you're doing. NASCAR needs to put you on the payroll.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it gets them interested in watching the races and tuning in and checking us out. But, the cool thing too, I mean, we've been doing them all, a lot of them on Facebook Live, but I've been able to do a few in-person readings too. And that's probably the most fun for me, just getting to have the live interaction, see the reactions live from the kids. That's pretty cool.
Now, in talking about NASCAR, let's get into a little bit of racing. This season's been pretty fun to watch. I mean, granted, every season has ups and downs, but this season with Dave, is it Dave Ellis?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain your relationship with Dave? I mean, we pretty much know his history, and he's come from cars such as Tyler Reddick's championship and engineer with Jimmy Johnson back in the day. And now he's with you and things are looking good. It was fun watching you at Daytona and at Fontana. Let's talk about what's going on there and how that's going to be some fun to watch throughout the summer too.
Yeah, Dave's been around for a long time in the sport. And as a crew chief, he's been in that role for quite a while on the Xfinity side, but never on the Cup side. So this is the first year he's really in the Cup scene on the crew chief side of it, and he's been doing a great job. Him and I have a great relationship, communication wise, just being able to go and feel like we're on the same page right off the bat at the start of this season. So you never know when you're working with somebody new how long that is going to take to build that communication and get that kind of dialed in. But with Dave this year, it's been pretty easy. Him and I have been able to build that line of communication pretty quickly. So he's just been doing a good job and giving me fast cars and chances to run up front. And, that's fun from the seat for sure.
See, with this new car, I'm a huge fan of fresh eyes, fresh thoughts, and you guys are providing that. And that's why I just feel like this is only just the beginning. There's so much more to go for you guys as a tandem.
Yeah, the new car, I think, was a pretty big incentive for Dave to come into the Cup level. With the old car, I think he felt like he was going to have to learn so much in such a short amount of time. It was just going to be a pretty big challenge for him to catch up. And with the next-gen car, everybody was just on the same page. It was a blank slate. Nobody has any notes or anything to go off of from the past. Everybody's learning as we go. And I think Dave felt like that was going to be an advantage for him. Just if you can learn or pick up on anything any bit quicker than somebody else, you're going to be pretty far ahead of the game. And I think that's what kind of enticed him to move up.
Erik Jones, let's go back to this reading thing. I'm fascinated.
All right, enough racing. Let's go back to reading.
Let's go to this reading thing. You said it was a passion. It's kind of becoming a passion with me. My daughter got me back to reading. What do you like to read? Fiction, nonfiction, mysteries? What do you like? Spy stories? What do you like to read?
I'm a big fan of biographies, autobiographies, or self penned. Those are the interesting ones to me. Just real stories of people. I like athletic biographies. Probably is my favorite, just because it's interesting to hear from other sports worlds kind of how they approached it, went about their game and about their life. But the history stuff is cool too. I've always just been a big fan of history. So anything on history from Michigan. I read a book on Detroit not too long ago. So anything on history too is something that really interests me, but definitely read a ton of biographies. Usually that's what I got going.
Hold on a second, Statman. I know you want to jump in, but this is just perfect. I mean, you like history. You've got Richard Petty with your team. Mm-hmm. You like sports autobiographies. That you guys are making your own autobiography as we speak right now.
It's cool. I mean, getting to know Richard a little bit the last couple of years has been awesome. I mean, I'm a fan of the history of the sport in general. So being able to talk to a guy that's been in it from the beginning of NASCAR has been cool to just hear the stories of him going through and growing up in racing, growing up in NASCAR, growing up with NASCAR. NASCAR went through such huge growth when he was a part of the sport from the beginning to now. And it was just so cool to hear those stories from him and of the race team that they started and built. And what he did in his driving days.
Without thinking about it, what's the one autobiography that comes to mind? The first thing you think about when you think about your favorite that you really got lost in that story?
And that's a good question. Probably one I just read. I just read a book on Tiger Woods, and obviously his career has been all over the map, right? Highs, lows, lows, and just to hear that story, obviously kind of a little bit about him from just watching and what you read, but to hear a really deep dive into the way he grew up, trained, and perfected his craft in golf to become as good as he was in his prime was interesting. And then to obviously read a little bit about his struggles and how he worked through that and where he is today. It was just such an interesting story. I mean, it was so different than really any other book I'd read biography wise on anyone. So that was one that really got me locked in.
Kindle or a real book? Do you like turning pages or do you do it in a Kindle?
I like the real book. I tried to do the Kindle deal. Obviously it's kind of handy because you just take it wherever you go, right? But I just couldn't get away from the book. I just like having it in my hands.
Wow.
Our buds at General Tire want to give you $70 back on a Visa prepaid card. How do you get it? Well, you buy 4 qualifying passenger tires from General Tire, up to $70 back. We're not talking these high performance bad boys you see in the ARCA series. Passenger tires. You follow me? For more information, go to GeneralTire.com. GeneralTire.com. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. And of course, the official tire of the Freak Nation.
Lucas Oil, it works.
I
I run Lucas Oil.
It doesn't matter if you're on the water,
Driving to work,
or competing in a sold-out stadium.
Lucas Oil products will help you get the most out of your vehicle.
Monster Jam has run Lucas Oil in and on our trucks for over 10 years.
we wouldn't run anything else.
Lucas Oil, the official oil of Monster Jam.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch. The biggest racing weekend ever at Worldwide Technology Raceway is coming June 3rd through the 5th. The party starts Thursday with the NASCAR Fan Fest and Hauler Parade at Ballpark Village. Cup practice and truck qualifying on Friday, Cup qualifying and the Toyota 200 on Saturday, and it all wraps up on Sunday with the Enjoy Illinois 300. This is the first time in a lifetime to see the NASCAR Cup Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to worldwidetechnologyraceway.com to get your tickets now. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
Here it is. Erik Jones, NASCAR Cup pilot, driving the infamous 43, joining us here in the Freak Nation, Lucas Oil Studios. You've got a fundraiser coming up, and I could certainly read through the PR material, but I'd rather hear it from you. It's called 3 Reasons to Race in regards to a certain racetrack. And again, getting back to the reading and children and so forth, why are you doing this? And did you feel a need to give back in order to help bring this track back?
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to. So I guess to go back my NASCAR career, I've been able to support kind of a number of different causes and foundations, stuff that's close to me and means something to me. And my foundation now, been in operation for about 8 months, and this will be our first event coming up May 19th, Birch Run Speedway in Birch Run, Michigan, which is a place where I grew up really close to, about a half hour away. Raced there growing up, and won one of my first ever stock car races there. So somewhere that's close to me made a lot of sense to me. I still say Michigan's home. When I talk about going home, I live in North Carolina now, but I'm usually referencing Michigan. So made a lot of sense to have that event there for me. And, just to kick it off, it's going to be a fun event. Obviously we're raising money for a great cause. That's the goal at the end of it, but we're going to have fun doing it. And I'm excited to get it going. It's been a lot of work. Still a lot of work. It's a month away, and there's still things going into it to make sure it's going to happen and be the way we want to. But 3 reasons to race, and that's really our 3 causes in the foundation, 3 things we support, which is animal welfare, the reading initiative we were just talking a lot about, and then cancer prevention and early detection. So 3 things that mean a lot to me. It was hard to pin. I couldn't pick or pin one thing in my foundation that I really wanted to focus on, and those were the 3 things that I really care the most about.
Do you find that people are in your ear going, hey, Erik, let us be a part of your foundation? Or was this all you going for these 3 titles or 3 subjects to raise money?
It was really me. I was trying, obviously I learned a ton about foundations in the last year and a half and kind of what they entail and what you have to do to get one going. And obviously going into it, what you support is a huge part. And there was no way, I just couldn't pick one thing. There wasn't one cause I could really pick to support and focus mainly on. So those 3 things are just 3 things that have impacted my life. The cancer detection and prevention with my father. I lost him 6 years ago to cancer. And the reading, like I mentioned, was something that has been huge in my life and really felt like it's given me a jump start on a lot of things. And still to this day, helps me a lot. And then animal welfare. I grew up just an animal lover. I've got my dog now. I've got a pet rabbit. My family always had dogs growing up, so it was just a big part of my life. And all 3 of those things are.
Was your pet rabbit one of the Easter Bunny's helpers?
Oh,
Our
geez.
daughter would like to know.
I would imagine he gave him a little bit of a hand here last weekend.
Yeah. I mean, they're all over the place. So,
They
yes.
I'm going to ask a dumb question. It's probably going to get some email to at mc@speedfreaks.tv.
Okay, you're putting it out there.
Yep.
Put it out there. What good is a pet rabbit?
Hey!
A pet rabbit? He he hangs around. He'll come in, hang out, hop around. So him and the dog get along really good. The dog likes to mess with him, play with him, and so yeah, I guess they like that. But yeah, they just kind of hang out. He doesn't really do a ton.
Do you cuddle with it?
Yeah, I'll pet him, hang out with him on the couch.
You can't put a leash on it and take it for a walk, though, can you?
My girlfriend does.
Yes,
Yeah.
we want pictures.
Yeah, I'll have to go find. He just grew out of his leash he had. It's like it's not like you don't put like a collar on him. It's like the vest deal.
Yes.
So he just grew out of that. He's like 8 months old now, and he's
Oh.
getting bigger. So he's got to get a new one.
Honey, I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go walk the rabbit.
yeah.
Does he go to the racetrack?
No, he's never been to the racetrack. He's never been to the Oscar, my dog, goes to the racetrack. He flies. We have the team. We charter a flight to the track, and he'll fly with us on that.
Well, how big is Oscar? Is Oscar a big dog or one of those little handheld things you stuff in a bag?
He is. He's a German Shepherd.
Okay.
He's 85 pounds. Yeah, he's a big dog.
Wow.
So he kind of gets his own. We'll either sit in like the exit row and he can lay on the floor, or he'll just fly in his own seat if there's an open seat.
Boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I hate to talk a little racing here, but I've got to. Erik Jones here in the Freak Nation. And Erik, what I liked above and beyond the racing at Bristol on dirt was it created a dividing line for people. You either like it or you don't. And I don't care what you're in, sports, music, accounting, you create dividing lines
Rabbit
to keep
raising.
rabbit racing. Statman hates
Raising.
rabbits. You can email him at statmc at speedfree. No, it creates a dividing line for people to love it or hate it and gets us talking. Consequently, you saw the ratings for that race Sunday night on Easter. I don't care what you say, Erik. I loved it. I like the ratings. It's just different. And we're speed freaks and we like different things. I think you could tell.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I don't know going forward if I think the Easter racing is going to continue. Looking at the ratings, no doubt, I think in the years forward now, we'll probably be racing Easter Sunday night, I would assume. Whether that's at Bristol Dirt again, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I think, the dates probably, obviously Easter's not on the same Sunday every year.
Right.
So it's going to end up probably moving around track wise. I don't think we'll continually have the same race on that date. So we'll see. I think definitely that's going to continue on. The dirt racing, I think, will continue on. Whether it's at Bristol or not, I don't know. But I do think dirt racing is going to probably continue in the sport.
All right. So you want to talk racing.
We can get into it.
You're going into the last turn and you're Chase Briscoe. Do you dive into the door of Tyler Reddick and take him out to get the win?
So I've obviously thought a lot about it, seen it, seen the replay quite a few times. I don't think that was Chase's intention, to wreck them both. But you got to try to make a move. I don't know. You're not really a racer if you don't try to make that move. But obviously he pushed it a little too far and just made a mistake and got into him. I would hate it if I was Chase, and taking Tyler out like that. It's just not your intention.
Well, what if you were Tyler, for crying out loud?
He handled it great. I don't know how he did that, to be honest. I feel like I'm a pretty even keel guy, but in that situation, I'd probably be pretty frustrated, especially immediately following the race. Brave on Chase's part to walk up and very stand up of the way Tyler handled that. I was mind blown when I saw the conversation after. So it's tough. The cup races are just so hard to win, and when you get one taken away from you, when you can literally see the checkered flag flying, I can't even imagine. I've never had one taken away like that in the Cup Series, so it would be hard to handle for sure.
Wow.
Where is the most frustrating track? Before we let you go, the most frustrating track, where do tempers flare the most? The knee-jerk reaction is Bristol, but is it a Daytona or a Talladega because you're so wide open? Or is it a road course that's, so many more have been added now? Where do you get the most frustrated? And do you think that the field gets the most frustrated to each other?
It can be anywhere. Really. I would say Bristol, Martinsville probably are more prone to that just because you're always kind of right on top of each other. No matter if it's for the win or if you're for 8th, 10th, 15th, you can get frustrated with somebody anywhere at Bristol or Martinsville. So those are definitely the two that are going to click right away. Definitely the road courses too. A road course race for me in NASCAR is really similar to a short track race. Just the way that the restarts go, the racing is pretty aggressive. A lot of contact there. So those ones too. But I mean, it's anywhere. You can get someone plenty mad at any of these tracks we go to.
But
Hey,
not
Erik-
everyone has Oscar and a rabbit to come back to.
Oh, hell
That's
no.
right.
Make them feel better.
That's right.
Eric, someone asked me the comparison between Bristol, and this was a newbie, a person who hadn't watched a full NASCAR race. What's the difference between Bristol and Talladega? And of course, we know the difference. But the way I explained it to him, I said, look, you're in a sauna for 3 hours, and then you got to jump out into freezing water. I mean, that's the difference between Bristol and Talladega. Is that a fair comparison?
Yeah, I mean, night and day for sure. Bristol, half-mile track, a lot of contact, a lot of physical driver work. Probably one of our more physical tracks we go to. Talladega, totally opposite. Not physical at all, to be honest. Other than the heat. The heat is obviously always a problem. But physically, you're not working too hard in the car. But mentally, just super, super taxing. There's no track we go to more taxing mentally than Talladega, just because you're just nonstop. You're always with the pack. You're always trying to think about your next move. You're always watching the other cars, waiting on the wreck, trying not to cause a wreck, not to be the big one. So there's always something going on there that you're trying to think about and prevent.
And by the way, that guy that he was explaining it to, let's go back to your Easter comparison. This was somebody who had never watched NASCAR before until Easter Sunday with us. I mean, yes, I know there was a lot of controversy coming into that weekend, but this is something that's going to be, like you said, it's going to be talked about in the NASCAR paddock for a long time. It worked. So, we're going to do it.
It was definitely an experiment trying to do the Easter Sunday race. And like you said, I think it worked. The viewership showed that. And I don't see us not racing on Easter again for a while. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Listen, the NBA, the NFL, they play on freaking Christmas.
Right.
You guys can run on Easter, babe. Come on, Eric.
I think my grandma would disagree. She was not happy.
Oh.
Smart.
It's okay, Grandma.
Well, buddy, good luck to you at Talladega, man. Thanks for doing this. And is it erikjonesfoundation.org to get more information?
If you go to erikjonesracing.com, we have a foundation tab on there. We don't have the website set up yet, but we have a foundation tab on my website where you can look at obviously any information about the foundation, but also information for the May 19th event at Birch Run. You can purchase tickets, find out more about it. So we appreciate if you check it out, and love to see everyone there.
Badass.
Yes, we'll social it for you too. Yes.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
3 Reasons to Race fundraiser with Erik Jones driving the iconic number 43 NASCAR Cup Series. Erik, buddy, again, thanks for doing this, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always enjoy it.